Hey, what's going on? It's Matt from 96.5 The Fox. Father's Day coming to a close. Happy Father's Day to all of you out there, including my dad back home in Essexville, Michigan. Had the chance to call him earlier today and wish him a happy Father's Day, but I thought it'd be fun to tell a couple of stories about my dad, Mark. Stories that I've told for years that I think are funny. He might not think are funny, but I do, so hopefully he's all right with it. We'll start off with one from high school. Growing up, when I turned 16, my dad gave me the truck that he drove for years, a 1986 Ford Ranger. That was my first truck. He gave me that, and then he drove a minivan. Now, my dad's an auto body painter. He paints cars, trucks for a body shop back home. So he got this minivan, he decked it out, gave it an awesome paint job, and drove this thing basically until it stopped working, which it did in front of my folks' house. We parked it, and it died. Where my folks live, you can't leave vehicles in the street or you'll get a ticket for however long it's out there. So my dad wanted to get the van up into the driveway. Here's the thing. The driveway at my folks' house has a big hump in it. Like, you get past the sidewalk and there's this massive hump you got to try and get over. Now, I'm about 130 pounds at this point because I'm still in high school and I'm not drinking beer as often as I do now, I guess. So I haven't packed on the beer weight yet. So I'm a little kid, 130 pounds, lightweight, skinny, no upper body strength, no lower body strength, and my dad thinks I'm going to help him push this van up this driveway, which does seem easy except for the hump. So we get it up to the hump in the driveway, and we cannot rock it up the hump. It's not going. We don't have enough manpower to push it over the hump. We try for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I hear my dad say, "F it, let it go." And we let the van go. We both back away, and it rolls back down the driveway. And then I hear something that I think is an explosion, like a tire blowing or something. What it was my dad, who I won't say has a short fuse, he has a very long fuse, but when everything is finally built up on him and he blows up, it's terrifying. That's what happened. My dad punched out the driver's side window of this van that he had. Went off, hauled off, boom, punched it out. If you've seen it in the movies or you've seen it in person, it's a pretty amazing feat to see done. My dad just punching out this window. Of course, he's bleeding. He's mad. He's, "Get me a broom. I'll clean it up," whatever. I try and make light of the situation because that's the kind of person I am. So I go to him and I say, "Dad, if it's any consolation, the glass flew really far." Which, after a dude's punched out a window in a van, that's not what he wants to hear. My dad said, that's not what I want to hear. And walked in the house to bandage up, and I swept up all the glass that had dispersed across the neighborhood as my dad punched out this window. So that's the one story I don't know why that's always stuck with me, but I think it's just the feat of seeing my dad haul off and punch out this window. The other happened a little bit later on in life. Back home they had this thing called the St. John's Festival. I don't think they do it anymore, but in Essexville, Michigan, where I'm from, they had the St. John's Festival. When my buddies and I all turned 21, 22, 23, we would all go down there, hang out, have some beers, and then, of course, we'd party at the local bar afterwards, which is the Silver Palace, which, of course, anybody in Bay City or Essexville knows about the Silver Palace. So my dad would always go with us to St. John's and hang out. He knew all my buddies. They're all kids I grew up with. So my dad would always go with us, have some beers with us, hang out with us, and then go to the bar with us afterwards. There was never a problem with that except this one time where, as we're sitting at the bar, this dude comes up behind me, taps me on the shoulder, and says, "Hey, I hear you want to kick my ass in the parking lot." Now, if anybody out there that's ever met me knows that's not something I'm going to say, because anybody basically could kick the hell out of me. So I'm not challenging anybody to a fight anytime soon. But this guy was dead set on the fact that I challenged him to a fight in the parking lot. So I'd had enough beer in me at this point that I was like, "Yeah, I guess so." So then that guy walked away, and I turned to my dad and said, "Dad, I guess we got to go kick this guy's ass in the parking lot." And my dad drank his beer and followed me outside to watch this dude beat the hell out of somebody else in the parking lot. So it wasn't me he was looking for. He found the guy and then kicked his ass in the street, I guess. So those are the two stories. My dad punching out the window of a van, and then him having my back in a fight that I guess I thought I was supposed to be a part of, but wasn't. Either way, those are two of my favorite stories about my dad. Again, happy Father's Day, Dad. I miss you. Hope you had a great day. Talk to you soon.